saint. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm here backstage at Luxor with Dodie Clark. And Dodie, you have just been to Berlin. How has it been?
Oh, yeah, really good. I mean, I didn't see much of it because obviously when you play a show, you just kind of arrive, sound check, play, leave, and then drive away. But we had burgers, which was really nice. And the crowd was wonderful, like just the perfect crowd. They were like really enthusiastic when they needed to be, but also like so quiet and like really involved and intimate. So it was really, really nice.
I hope Cologne will be similarly nice.
I hope so too.
Yeah, but how has LA been? You have been there for a longer time.
Yes.
And I think your Twitter was full of it. However, I
Yeah.
haven't heard you in person
Just
talking about your experience.
Pictures and pictures of Disneyland. Yeah, really good. It was so good. I have so many friends there. I've got like my own community there. And like people say, what were you doing? Like, were you writing? Are you there on holiday? And I was basically just living my life in London, but in LA. So with sunshine and Disneyland and different friends. So yeah, it was really, really fun.
Nice. Now, this friend now is, I believe, your third solo tour, or...
oh God, I honestly don't know.
And I think you also played alongside other musicians on their tours. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference between being alongside other musicians on their tour and being solo or with your own band, rather? Let's wait for that to end.
I'm kidding. I hope that'll stop. Gives me time to think about the answer. Okay, let me think. So, the difference between touring alongside other musicians and headlining.
Exactly.
I don't really know. There's not too much of a difference, if I'm honest. I guess, like, now I have a few more people, like, looking after me. Like, there are kind of, like, you know, I have a tour manager and I have different companies, like, booking agents and promoters and that kind of thing. So, yeah, there's a few more, like, restrictions. And I'd say that, like, playing by yourself, like, I've been, like, growing. So I have, like, bigger crowds now, which means that I can't, like, meet people as easily or at all. So that's been different. But in terms of, like, the vibe, it's pretty much the same.
All right, so you did some smaller concerts on your own, like you said, and just you with your ukulele. Now you're with the full band. How is arranging for? Did you arrange for your band? Or?
Kind of. We all kind of did it together.
Nice.
So, yeah, with the full band for like the UK tours, because I'm only on a Europe tour and I'm playing with just 2 strings at the moment, so violin and cello. Yeah. For that, we kind of like all arranged together, really. In fact, yeah, we just do that. Like, we'll take, if I'm playing with a band, I'll take the stems from the recordings if I've already recorded them, and then like build it up around that and like add in the little parts that are missing from like everyone else. But in terms of like strings, yeah, we kind of like sat down and wrote it all together, and Will, my violinist, will like input it in a notation program.
The Will I talked to. Oh,
he's great.
How cool.
I know.
Yeah, I talked to Pete, and unfortunately he told me he was not on this tour.
Yeah. Costs too much money. We're already making a loss. Please buy my merch. Yeah.
You're really making a loss? Oh,
well, so far. Hopefully if people buy merch, then it will probably break even.
Alright.
On tours like this, you just like, you tour because you're touring. Yeah, it's not really designed to make money. But yeah.
Oh, how nice is that?
Which is why I'm not bringing a full band, because I can't afford it.
Alright, now for one question I think I know the answer to, but the public may be interested in. How would you describe the type of music you're making?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I guess, I mean, if I was being kind of pretentious and arrogant, I'd like to think of it as like poetry mixed with music. Because I take time into my lyrics. And I'm inspired by like film music and musicals, but then also like bops and like pop music. So I don't really know. I guess, I mean, to anyone who asks, I always go like indie pop, because it's just like, you know, vague. But I also try and sound a bit more organic. So yeah, all of those words.
Now you just said poetry music. I think I saw one of your screenshots from your note-taking app where you gather ideas. So what is your creative process for, like, first of all, the lyrics, and second of all, the melody, the chords? How do you come up with that? What is first?
I think the idea of whatever it is comes first.
Okay.
So like if there's like a topic or something I want to address, I will write like a load of phrases for it. So like I'll think of a certain line and I'm like, oh, that works really well. So I'll write like ideas of lyrics first. So I have like the topic and idea and the mood in my head. Then I'll play around on a few different instruments. Like I always go to like my piano or my baritone ukulele. My ukulele if I want to, but I usually am like, I'm done with this now.
Yeah.
And I've recently bought a guitar as well, so hopefully the guitar will be the next place
Nice.
to write on. So yeah, I kind of like dabble around on all of those things, try and come up with like a riff or a chord sequence that sounds nice and like fits the mood, and then just keep building.
All right. So you're writing music at the instrument and not beforehand in your head, and then try to translate it to.
There'll definitely be moments where like I'm walking around a shopping centre and I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. Like, tell you what, I'll show you something I have if you want.
Sneak peek.
Oh God, not really. Just like an example of what I do. It's really embarrassing. So here's my 7/8 idea. I'm like walking around in an airport. Why wouldn't it play out? And I just really like the idea of like 7/8. 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. It's so embarrassing. It's like, oh, I hate that you're hearing
that.
It's
nice.
No,
rhythm was nice.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I just think that'd be really fun to like write around. So sometimes I get an idea. It's 7/8, like 7 quavers in a bar, which is like I've never written in like that, but I think it'd be really fun to try.
Have you written anything in 4/5?
No, 5/4, no.
5/4, sorry. 5/4.
I would love to. So like 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. I would love to. I think I'd like to experiment a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, now this is a perfect segue. I know a guy who writes in 7/8 and I think many time signatures. He's called Jacob
Collier. I knew you were going to say it. Yes.
I think you commented on a few of his videos, and you had an I Harm You, which he made wonderfully. So tell me, how did you get to know about Jacob? How do you like him?
Gosh, so I have a friend, he's a musician, he's called Lewis Watson. He plays guitar, he's done like really nice songs.
Sorry.
Yeah, we did a Christmas song together.
Baby It's Cold.
Yes, yeah. So he's really nice, and before we did that, we got tea together and like tea and cake, and we're like mentioning a lot of stuff and like our favorite music as musicians do. And he was like, oh, there's this guy called Jacob Collier, he's got an EP or an album or whatever called In My Room, and he made it all by himself. He's like a jazz like funk musician. I was like, wow, because I mentioned I love Stevie Wonder, and he was like, oh my God, you'd love him. So yeah, I just listened to him and like immediately like fell in love, followed him on everything, and then he followed me back and he DM'd me being like, oh, would you like to do an I Harm You? And I was like,
so
yes.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
I know it was so cool, so I tried really hard to impress him by like writing something, but you can't impress that guy. He's too good at everything.
Hyper Mega Meta Lydia.
Oh my gosh, who even knows? And here's me like, oh my God, maybe I'll try writing in 7/8. That might be cool. And he's like, God, no, he's so cool.
So if there would be the chance, would you like to make music with him?
Oh, 100%, but I'd feel incredibly intimidated and rather silly and like stupid at times. He'd be like, maybe we could add a like minor major seventh diminished blah blah blah, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds great, Jacob. I'll just be here with my like 3-note harmony. But yeah, I would.
You have more complex stuff than that.
Oh, thanks, that's very kind. But yeah, no, I'll stick to the emotional stuff.
All right, yeah. Actually, another segue. Stick to the emotional stuff. Now, you're pretty open about your mental illness, and does that affect your writing of music somehow?
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Right. I mean, recently I've been a bit like wary of being as open as I have been, because I know. I mean, it's so ironic. Like my sharing of mental illness sometimes can make my mental illness worse. Yes. So I'm like, I don't really know what to do. I feel like I have an obligation to, because I'm so principled in the fact that we should talk about it. But then I'm like, well, I have to look after myself as well. So I don't really know. But I've been trying to write about that topic. So I wrote a song called Burned Out, which is about that and feeling the pressure
of... Is it out yet?
Yes, yeah, it's on my channel.
Oh, okay.
It's not like properly recorded or anything, but it will be burnt out. And we'll be playing it tonight, so hope you enjoy.
How nice is that?
And then... so I tried writing about what it was like to feel so much pressure of all of these people who know me and like what that does to my mental health. But it's kind of tricky to talk about the difficulties of having an audience, because obviously it's also very wonderful. So yeah, it's tricky.
So what exactly has changed about you, your openness, your oversharing?
I think I'm learning boundaries. I'm trying to get across boundaries to my audience as well, because in being so open, I think there's a sense of like entitlement, and that's okay. Like, we've all been there. I've definitely had that. But like, in sharing so much, I think it comes across as being a friend, and I can't be a friend to hundreds and thousands of people. So yeah, it's tricky. It's difficult. I'm just learning to share what I can and help everyone and help myself as much as I can. It's about balancing. It's really difficult, but I'm trying.
All right, let me check. When you were like several years ago, it just no. Let me start it over. Did you have, when you first started out making YouTube videos, did you have this goal in mind of selling out tours or being a musician, or did you plan? Yeah, no. This is the wrong way to phrase the question.
Do you want to ask it again? I can answer it.
All right, then do.
Okay. I don't think I had it as a goal. Like, it wasn't like, if I do these steps, then I will get there. It was more like a dream. It was definitely like an unreachable thing. But I might as well like do what I love and put out these videos and all this music because I like it. I didn't really expect to get anywhere because I hadn't done so in my life yet, and also I feel like I'm a very lazy person, so I don't really know how I got here, but yeah, there was no like goal or target. It just kind of happened, luckily.
All right, nice. One thing I noticed about you, you had a great handling of placements, product placements in your videos.
Oh, nice.
Many German YouTubers, I think, or struggle with it, have issues, have bad press about it. You, I think, have very good handling with it. What's your approach to product placements?
I don't know. I guess, well, I used to do a lot more. Now I don't really need to as much because my music is supporting me, thankfully. But I mean, if I get one, I still enjoy it because it gives me an idea. It's more like an opportunity rather than a way to kind of like, how can I fit this in? You know, how can I shove it in without anyone realizing? I like to create it into a project because that's what it is. It feels like homework, but it is work. So, but it, like in a fun way. Yeah, I use it as like an idea, like something to inspire me and to work around.
All right, now. I'm not really good at hiding that I'm very much in awe with you as a person and your music. However, as my journalistic duty, I do have to ask some critical questions. Okay. So I hope you're fine with that. Don't feel obligated to answer to any of those. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Okay. So we can cut anytime.
That's all right.
Yeah. Now, your relationship with your community. Many of your fans are dedicating almost their entire online presence to you. You can see it at their Twitter handles and their profile. What do you think about that?
I think that's fun. Okay. I think as long as they know that it's just fun and it's harmless and it's not like, I mean, I do my best to ground myself as a human in everyone's eyes. I desperately try and say I am not like, oh God, because I remember being a fan and watching so many people, and I definitely would have dedicated like profiles to certain people because they were just like up here in my mind, you know. So I desperately try my best to say, no, bring me down. I'm just a human. Like, I get things wrong. Of course I do. Everyone does. It's just that I'm doing it like I get it wrong in like a public place. Like, everyone's watching me. So please, like, lower your expectations. Lower every like view of me that you have. But I think it's okay as long as they know that it's fun and I'm human. Okay,
now perhaps for a more recent thing, when you left from London to Berlin, I think one of your friends tweeted at you. Perhaps I'd like to no, what did she say? I can't remember, but some along those lines. Would I wait at the airport before perhaps bumping into dodie? And I think you handled the situation quite great. So,
okay.
So,
I was like, how do you know when my flight comes in?
yeah. So what do you think about that? Obviously, that's not dangerous in any way, but you could see difficulties arising when those get too irregular. So
yeah, I don't know. It's so difficult. Like, can you? I mean, I have so many friends who say yes, but can you explain boundaries to your audience without being rude? Like, can you say, don't come meet me at the airport? Because there will be some people, and I can totally see why some people would say, that's so mean. Like, all they want to do is support you. They love you. Why are you shunning them? Why are you being so mean to them? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult. I haven't figured out a way to communicate that yet, but I'm trying. I'm just kind of like teetering.
right.
So yeah, I tried by being like, basically someone tweeted me and was like, should I come and meet Dodie at the airport? And instead of being like, yes, or God, no, I was like, how would you know that? That's kind of strange. But she replied in a nice way. So yeah, it's ultimately harmless. I know that all of my audience are lovely and just so encouraging and kind and loving. But yeah, it's difficult to communicate boundaries.
Okay. Now you just said that we're going to hear one of your new songs in concert. Last time I saw you at concert, I think it was She and Absolutely Smitten that were your old songs in air quotes that were featured. Will you publish some of your old songs, or will you get to play more of your old songs on stage? Is that a plan?
I won't be playing She this night because you have to play it in like open D on a guitar, and number one, I'm not very good at guitar. Number two, I only have one guitar, so I can't like tune it all the time, so I won't be doing that one. But in terms of like reusing old songs, yes, definitely I'll be re-recording a lot of my like old back catalogue of songs. So
alright, so I'm very much looking forward for that. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay,
thank you so much for the interview.
Sure.
And yeah. Great.
Okay, cool.
Oh, how awesome.